Okay, this is a quick demo of using the Reachy Gazebo Grasp demo. So first things first, you can find the package here on GitHub with some really brief instructions on how to get things going. You do need to use the Reachy Move It config package that I've created because I've done a lot of work in here to get it to work with Gazebo. You also need to install a bunch of stuff that you might not have already to run Gazebo, specifically Gazebo version 11 and the ROS Gazebo plugin package. I'm also assuming that you've already installed Apriltag ROS and have that working. So if you have Move It installed and you've tried that before, you should be good to start this. To start the demo, it's just a single command here that launches everything. So I'm going to come back here and just pump that in demo1.launch, and demo1 does a bunch of stuff all at once. It launches RViz with a custom configuration as well as Gazebo and all its plugins. It launches Move It and the Apriltag ROS package. So that takes a minute to chug here. We'll just give it a second to get everything going, and you'll see a bunch of stuff screaming across the terminal here. Once that's up and running, what we could do is I've just been adding the table in manually. I haven't got to the point where I'm spawning it automatically like the other objects yet, although that'd be pretty trivial to do. You can do that up here just with this insert tab. I've already added the table before, so it's already in my local list. If you don't have this, you can wait for the remote database to connect and then add it from the list here. But I'm just going to grab the table. I'm going to pull it in. And then I'm going to use the object translator to get this sort of approximately in front of Reachy. Now, one thing that we need to do is, since this table isn't going to be added to the planning scene yet, we need to get Reachy's arm into a place where he's not just going to slam into the table as soon as he starts planning, because as soon as Reachy sees the cube and the cube is in Reachy's workspace, it automatically starts planning towards there. So I'm just going to move Reachy's arm to a more convenient location first. I'm going to turn the TF visualization off so it's just less cluttered. And I'm just going to move, let's see if that's not right. There we go. I'm just going to move it into a more convenient location just so that when we start actually planning for the cube, it doesn't hit that table. So I'll just plan and execute that. And if everything's working, this should shoot up here. And we should be able to see that on the robot and gazebo. So once that's done, we can actually grab the cube and pull it onto the table here. And as soon as the node detects the cube, a node I have will grab that location and start planning. So I'm just going to drag the cube in front of Reachy here, and you can see he's starting to plan right now. And I just have this offset here so that the hand is always just some slight offset above the cube. So we can see how this works. I'll just pull the cube out in front here. And let's see if that's in the workspace still. Maybe not. It might be too far forward for Reachy. I'll move it back over here. Move to the side. And we'll just bring it over here. Yeah, at some point, this is going to be outside of Reachy's workspace, and he won't plan to it anymore. And you can see those definitions here. So here's the Reachy Gazebo Grass package. On another source, I have this move interface.py. This is where the main logic of the program is running. I'll give that a second to load here. And you can follow this logic. I won't go through it all right now. But the workspace is defined on these lines right here. It basically just acts as a really crude filter, saying if the cube is outside of these manually set ranges, it won't try to plant to it. One thing I do want to point out here, you'll notice in RViz, the cube is at this really weird skewed position here. Let me just turn the motion off here and hide some of this. It's in this really sort of crude position here, and the reason it's doing that is if we take a look at the image that's being piped out of Apriltag ROS, you'll see, let me just pull the cube to the side here so we can actually see it. You'll see that it's very squished. It's not actually a square, it's a rectangle, even though our camera is right above it here. So there's some problem with the camera properties, and maybe it's a calibration problem. I've tried to debug the plugin best I can, but I haven't been able to get this as flattened out. Because it's skewed like that, we're getting a pretty bad pose estimation. You can see it's effectively rotated in pitch, which is causing the estimation to be off. Yeah, so I haven't got to the bottom of that, but yeah, we can run a calibration on the real camera, and hopefully that'll address that problem. I'll just do one last estimation here, and yeah, that's about it for now.